Hi, Aries. Welcome to your reading for December 2023, the last month of the year. Happy holidays, first of all. I do want to let you know real quick that I am running a holiday special. I do this maybe once a year, very seldom though. I do it like every couple years where I'm doing a buy one, get one free. All the details will be below. Just click on the more detail section. But literally, it's buy one, get one free. You can give one away as a gift. Um, and they can answer, like, that can be done whenever they're ready. So don't even worry about that. But if the second one is for you, the only stipulation is I ask that you wait for 4 months after the first one, just so you can get the most out of them. They're very detailed. They're an hour and a half to 2 hours long. Yeah, so I'm running that. You very seldom see me do that. I can't even remember the last time I did that, but all the info will be below. So let's get back to you. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Many of you are intuitively guided now to these readings, and I thank you for paying attention to your intuition. That's your spirit guides. How do I say this? Not pushing you, but like just having you come across the reading at the right time. I always say time is fluid. We're doing these for December, but you may see this reading years from now, and it may make complete sense for you at that time. Time is fluid. That's what we got to remember. Um, but anyway, so you may be in love with an Aries. And if that's the case, know that your guides know that you're here and you're going to receive messages also. Whatever brought you, I just say welcome. I'm so glad you're here. All right, so we're going to use 4 different decks. It's interesting. I've been using the Universal Tarot for the majority of the readings, but I felt like I was meant to change it up for your reading. So I'm bringing in the Psychic Tarot for your main spread. That'll be your main Tarot spread. We will clarify with the Gilded Tarot. Put those over here. And we, of course, are going to use our Mother Mary for words of wisdom. And I also brought in Archangel Raphael. This felt like it was a perfect time for him to come in. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with Archangel Raphael first. Everything's pre-shuffled, just so you know. But I do like to shuffle it if you hear also. So give it a couple shuffles. Let's give it a cut. And let's begin. Well, that did not take long at all. Detoxification. I have to say, this has been the theme for December. Maybe it's just warning us, like, try not to overindulge, through the holidays or what have you. But almost everyone is getting this as part of their message. All right, detoxification. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for cleaning up my body, mind, and life so that I may happily and healthfully live free of chemicals. We have January 1st right around the corner. That's where a lot of times people make these resolutions. Some of you, that may be your resolution. So I would say if that is your resolution, remember Archangel Raphael is there to help you. All right. Remember your angels, your archangels. You need to really call them in for their assistance, and they'll be right there. Your spirit guides are always sending you signs. I mean, that is their job. When we came into this lifetime, we weren't just thrown down into this earthly plane. We have a whole spiritual team that's connected to us. And when we cross over, we're going to be part of someone's spiritual team also, if not more than one person. So trust in that if you can. All right, Mother Mary. Mother Mary, whisper words of wisdom, let it be. All right, Jesus, Jesus. I pray for Jesus's help and guidance with this situation. I pray for Jesus's help and guidance with this situation. Okay, we'll read those from the book at the end of the reading. It's just where it's most profound, but it's going to let us know why they're here in the main spread also. So let's begin with that. Again, we're using the Psychic Tarot, already pre-shuffled. But I want to shuffle it a couple times with you here. All right, let's give them a cut. Shout out to my friend on the 22nd of March. All right, Aries, let's begin. We have the Eight of Cups, emotional withdrawal. Interesting. Number 8. First of all, I just want to remind you that we are moving into a universal year 8 in 2024. So, this could signify something with that. But then we have passion ignited, the Ace of Wands next to that. Let me bring this lid down a little bit. I want you to be able to see them. So how interesting. The Eight of Cups really speaks about it. It's funny because this person's like in meditation by water, which is a very healing modality. I used to live right by the water, and it's where I would go when I needed just to like chill out, relax, get things off my mind. So I do feel like, if you are close to water, that may help. But I also feel like this person feels very humble. It's interesting. The Eight of Cups really speaks about someone who was willing to look within their emotional house, see what cups that have been knocked over may affect like your present day moment or your present day decisions. You know what I mean? Like, you really want to try not to get stuck in the past. It does feel like, of course, it says emotional withdrawal. So it can talk about a person, it can talk about a situation, but it does feel like there's change there. But then right off the bat, you get the Ace of Wands. So something else like, boom, ignite your heart. Well, let's keep going. Let's find out what. It's funny because I'm getting like January. We move into this next universal year, and I feel like right off the bat, there's something or someone that puts fire in your belly, fire in your heart. All right, we have transformation. That is the death card. Card Scorpio, by the way. Scorpio's major arcana. It is about endings. It is. But it is so something new can begin. It's learning to close the doors behind us. You may even talk about the year, like closing out 2023 and getting excited for, all that 2024 can bring you, that will be meeting you along your path, that type of things. But there is a door I have to close. There's no way around that. And I feel like it's something within your emotional world, within your emotional house. But I feel like as soon as you do that, something else like, I don't know, like enters the picture. And then we have the star card. Here it's called hope. keeping hope alive. Star card is about your dreams and your wishes and what it is you want to manifest in your life. I love the Ace of Pentacles being, I'm saying the first card. It's not the first card, but I feel like once I've cleared this energy of the Eight of Cups, then the Ace of Wands feels like the first card. And then you have the Star card over here. First of all, two major arcanas back to back, Scorpio and Aquarius. It's funny, that's my daughter's sun sign and her moon. But anyway, this is about your dreams and your wishes and bringing them to fruition. You know what I mean? And I feel like if there's something I really want to, let's say, manifest in my life, then there is a door that really needs to be closed. And I do feel like this door lies within your emotional house, especially with transformation, because another water, right? More water. All right, let's keep going. We have authority. This is your major arcana, the Emperor. Interesting, it's coming under emotional withdrawal. This can certainly it talks about a lot of different things. Matter of fact, let's just see what comes next to it before we get into everything. First of all, it goes from an 8 to a 4. Now, that doesn't have to be a bad thing, because a 4 to me is all about your foundation. Rest and rejuvenation. Two fours back to back. That brings us right back to that 8. And then, hello, sun. We'll take it. The ruler of Leo. Interesting because you got 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas out of 7 cards so far. So I feel like there are some changes coming your way. And it's interesting with the sun coming right under, it's interesting because there's my son and daughter. But anyways, with the sun coming under the death card, I feel like, it's illumination of what door needs to close. Like, what is it I need to, like, put in the past and keep it in the past. Doesn't mean I shouldn't extract the wisdom, I mean, learn what I can learn from it, even learning about myself, all of that. And the sun helps you do that. The sun's, total illumination. Like nothing can hide in the sun's energy. And it's also energy of really feeling like a kid again. I feel like it's a brand new day. I feel like rest and rejuvenation is because of this Eight of Cups up here. And I feel like, some of you may have been taken, or I don't know if I want to say you're taking time out because sometimes I feel like we don't have the luxury of just like doing nothing as we heal. We have to keep moving. But I feel like it's interesting because I feel like I'm healing from something that was, and the universe is now showing me something new or someone. We have another major arcana, by the way, the Hierophant, called Wisdom in this deck, under the star. It's a 5, so some type of change, but it's coming right under the star. So, and coming right next to the sun, I feel like there really should be nothing I fear here. The Hierophant asks you the reason I feel that it's a five, because it wants you to question your belief system. Do you still have hope? Do you keep hope alive? Sometimes you don't know how something can come together, or you just think it's impossible, and then it does. It comes together. That's just divine energy. All right. Well, hello, lovers. Interesting. Card of Gemini. And then look at this, the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. First of all, Ace of Pentacles is mirroring the Ace of Wands. In between them is rest and rejuvenation. That's really the healing card. That's where I'm healing. I'll let that go by. That's where I'm healing my body, my mind, my soul. And then the Ace of Pentacles means that something is coming into your physical world, in your material world, perhaps. Interesting because I felt like, with the Emperor here, um, some of you may be starting like a new business. Maybe it's your own business, or you are receiving. I feel like as it relates to your money, it feels like it's going to increase. Now, I say it's going to increase. Now, for some of you, I feel like you may be starting something of your own, and it may take a moment for that money to start coming in before you see the fruits of your labor, but you will see them. They will come to you. Let's just put it that way. Trust within what you already know. You have a lot of spiritual energy over here. And then the lovers. Head over heart decision. The lovers is mirroring that Eight of Cups. Then the Ace of Pentacles next to that. I feel like potentially this could talk about a relationship that needed healing, and potentially healing is available. Hmm. And I'm saying that because it's interesting. Like I feel like with the Star card mirroring the Eight of Cups, you know, for some of you, this could talk about someone that maybe you were in a relationship at one time. And I don't feel like things went right. I do feel like there was a breakup. And, I feel like two people went their separate ways. It doesn't mean the love died. It just wasn't working at that point. Life can get in the way. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? And the Hierophant is like the wisdom of, the wisdom of my own ways, number one, but also wisdom coming under hope. So I feel like, like I don't want to give you any false hope. But at the same time, this feels like for a few, this could be something that is being reignited. Hmm. And I'm thinking, is that a good thing? I think it is. I think it is. And you know what else is interesting is, Aries, I feel like you've learned a lot. I feel like you've learned a lot about your emotions, and maybe even lack of emotion. Now, I'm not saying all the time because Aries is a very loving sign, most of the time, like all of us. Um, but I do feel like, that's what you've been learning. Probably was not an easy lesson, but I do feel like you come out all the better because of it. Even if, let's say, these lovers never come together, me still having clarity over my own emotional house is really important because even if they don't come back together, something is still igniting your heart. All right, well, let's keep going. You have the emperor who is mirroring Hierophant. So for some of you, certainly you could be doing something where, you're leading people. And by the way, I love the Ace of Pentacles being here also because again, I feel like it's an increase in your finances, an increase in opportunities, like just opportunities find you. I remember I had a year like that where it was just like one opportunity after another. So you may want to question which one you want to take, which direction you want to go. We have Shadow. This is the moon card or ruler or the major arcana for Pisces, ruler of Cancer. It's interesting we have the sun and the moon. And for those who follow me, there's still more like there's certain things I look for when there's potentially a twin flame also. And the sun and the moon is one of those things I look for connected. And they're connected. So that's a potential. And the lovers. I do look for the lovers, but there's one more thing that I look for. We have the Four of Cups. Discontentment and boredom in one's life. This person has their back to the world. Almost like, I give up. I definitely know why the Hierophant's here now. Because it's telling you don't give up. I feel like there's some type of dream you want to manifest. And, I feel like I have to say sometimes, yes, you can manifest these dreams, but they may look different than how you expected. And I feel like the more we can learn to be okay with that, the more we start to realize that it's probably even better for us. Now, this person in the Four Cups kind of has given up hope. And, you know, I don't want you to do that. It's interesting too because right next to Shadow, and I often feel in this card alone, in this image, that this is someone who is looking at not just their shadow side, but also their light. It's the realization that we're made of both light and dark. Sometimes we live in our dark, sometimes we're brought to the light. I feel like someone is missing someone. And I do feel like I feel like I'm missing someone. And I would say that this person is probably pretty special because the star card, especially connected to the sun right there. Well, what I'm feeling is maybe the energy is like night and day. Hmm. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. The Nine of Cups, fulfillment of wishes. The waiting game underneath that. Sometimes I feel like, how do I say this? Because I feel like I want to say, sometimes we get the opportunity to get our shit together. And maybe it had to come through, like for some, like separation. Like sometimes, how do I say this? Like sometimes you forget to appreciate what you have or what you had. Sometimes you don't realize what you had until it's gone. Now, that I feel like I'm being a bummer right now, but I feel like this is about change. Um, but the change, how do we say this? Like really serves you. I definitely feel like I had to look at that dark part of myself to understand it. And by the way, if this is talking about a relationship that may come back together, they also had to do that. And by the way, if this is in any way related to a twin flame relationship, remember you're each other's mirror. So that would kind of make sense. Now, the Four Cups, even though it's discontentment and boredom, there's still a cup that's being offered to this person. You don't see it in this image, but there is a cup being offered to this person, and they're being asked to use their spiritual discernment, not their fear based mind. Like we have emotional withdrawal with the Eight of Cups and down to a four, discontentment and boredom. But ultimately, fulfillment of wishes, the Nine of Cups. But I feel that this is more talking about like a singular type energy, where I'm single, and I'm not miserable. I don't feel like I'm miserable, but I don't feel like I'm fulfilled either. Interesting. It's going back and forth. I feel like for some of you, if you could look at your life experiences, particularly the last one, but really all of them, I feel like you have the opportunity to then take that wisdom and it's like shine your light for others. And I feel like, it can even be an opportunity of now how I make my money. And some people disagree. Like, what do you mean? Like shining my light to help other people, but also making money off it? Well, God doesn't expect you to live, for free. You have bills to pay. So I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. But I do feel like the opportunity of taking what I know, what I have learned, and sharing it with the people in some format. I feel like this Nine of Cups, it almost feels like it's like if I didn't become singular, then maybe I'd never really understand what it is that I'm missing. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot and let's just get right into this. Two aces. Ace of Wands, passion ignited. The Ace of Pentacles, prosperity begins. The Star card, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, the light, the sun's here, the lovers are here. Some of you, I feel like, you may meet someone in the arena of the type of work you do, and you may just find that it turns out to be true love. Now you may have already met this person, but I just feel this sense of true love. All right. Start at the beginning, but read it as a whole. So we're looking at the Eight of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Death card called Transformation here, the Star card called Hope here. We have High Priestess, your intuition, your higher self, trusting your instinct. Trust your instinct, especially because right now it's mirrored by the hope, by hope, the hope. I feel like this is saying that your heart is going to be ignited again. And especially with the Four of Cups down here, where it asks you to use your spiritual discernment, right? Also, the High Priestess, which is your GPS for this lifetime, like trusting that first instinct. I feel like it's saying that something is coming your way, but the ball will be put in your court. So, what that means to me is like you're the one who's going to say yay or nay to it, so to speak. Just keep going. It's interesting because the high priestess is now also mirroring the lovers. And I feel for some of you, it just feels like there's someone's energy you can feel, even if they're not around you, especially when they're not around you. Like, I feel, there can be a disconnect between two people, but they still like intuitively feel each other. That makes sense. We have the Three of Wands. Look at that. Optimistic view about your future coming right under over the Ace of Cups. Or I'm sorry, the Ace of Wands. Passion ignited. Three of Wands. I feel like first of all, you're looking at things differently. I feel like as you come into this reading, for some of you, I feel like, you might be a little heartbroken, or you may have had to deal with some situations that, I don't know, just kind of feel like they didn't go your way. Maybe they weren't meant to go your way. Maybe the timing wasn't right. But now something else is entering. And the Three of Wands means, first of all, it's how I look at my future. It's an optimistic view. It's letting go of control, knowing that your ships will come in when your ships are meant to come in. You do your part. I don't know. And that may simply mean keep hope alive. And I feel like Divine will do their part. So I love the Three of Wands coming right over the Ace of Wands and being mirrored by the Ace of Pentacles. Prosperity begins. I feel like this is not just talking about love, this is also talking about your money. How can that be bad? Almost like everything is changing. But I don't feel like it's overwhelming. Don't get me wrong. I do feel like there are changes. But I don't feel like they're all just rushing in. I feel like moment by moment by moment. All right, let's keep going. Well, hello, Ace of Cups. Unconditional love. Over the Death card, transformation. Let's call it what it says, transformation. Transformation now of what? Of the Ace of Cups. The sun right underneath that Ace of Cups. Even if this is talking about someone of the past, it would have to be different energy, I feel like, because if something didn't go right in the first time or the second time, or the third time? Why would we think that it's going to go right in the fourth time? So something, if this is talking about like someone that you really want back, then I feel like it's imperative that we understand, where it broke down, and what was my part in it, what was their part, just, understanding the situation, because repeating it would only bring you right back to where you were. And I don't feel like this is about, like if it love lasting just for a couple months. I mean, what would be the sense? I feel like this is probably from this point on. Interesting though, because first the door needs closed, and then the Ace of Cups arrives. You have three aces, Aries. All right, let's keep going. See if we can get the fourth ace out. Even as it relates to love, with the Three of Wands next to the Ace of Cups, same thing. It's asking you to try to stay optimistic, and try to let go of control as much as you can. And what I mean by it, like exactly how something must happen, how it must show. And instead, yes, do your part, be bold if you need to be bold. But at the same time, like be open to how things come into your life. All right. Interesting with Five of Cups. I'm sorry, with the Five of Swords over Hope. And then look at this with the Four of Wands right over your major arcana. So this is the marriage card. I call it the commitment card because not everyone gets married, but many do make commitments for the rest of their life. Another 444. I feel like you're ready to make a commitment. Um, in a couple different ways. First of all, I feel like you're ready to make a commitment in love. Now, I don't necessarily know that you have found that person yet, or if this is speaking of someone of the past, then it's really, really important that I understand why and how it broke down. That way it's not repeated. And I feel like that sends the universe a sign like, okay, I get it. I get it. Why am I saying all that? Because the Five of Swords coming over the Star card. Five of Swords is about toxicity and what's become toxic to you. Who's become toxic to you? Have you become toxic to yourself? And I say that because it's mirrored right now by the Four of Cups, which is really you. So a sense of discontentment in one's life. But I don't feel like it has to stay that way. But I do have to know what that toxicity is, especially as it relates to love. Well, as it relates to anything in your life. Because again, I feel like this is the view you're meant to take to really manifest what you want. You take whatever view you want to take, but an optimistic view is going to manifest these aces, let's just say, much sooner than a negative view of it would. I feel like you are in the energy of wanting to give your heart to someone. Like, I feel like you want to be in a committed relationship. Maybe you've, like, like I've been there, done that, had my fun. Not that you can't have fun in a marriage, don't get me wrong, or in a relationship. But you know, those things that you would normally do as a single person, I feel like you've done them, you've had them, I had fun, but now I'm ready to move into the next chapter. You have the nine of cups right here, then you have the ace of cups, add that together, potentially. The 10 of cups, we shall see. All right, let's keep going. Strength card. Um, card Leo, double Leo, right next to each other. Strength card showing in reverse though. Though I said I wasn't going to read reversals, I am going to put it in reverse, because I feel it that way. So let's talk about that for a second. So the strength card talks about looking within ourselves, looking at our own inner demons. You know, what is it that we need to overcome? Where is it that we need to find balance at? You know, I feel like if we remember a couple things about this lifetime, that number one, we're spiritual beings, first and foremost, having human experiences. That alone can add a lot of power to you. We're also light and dark, masculine and feminine. And the strength card is about finding balance within all of that. The strength card can talk about addictions, things that, you know, detoxification over here, things that, and I say addictions, it doesn't have to be drugs, it can just mean food, it's anything that's like almost like because I was in this emotional withdrawal, there may be something that I turn to that ultimately I'm looking at the strength card, the person, and they're looking right at that five of swords that ultimately became toxic to me. So we want to flip that around. And it's coming right over rest and rejuvenation. So again, the healing energy, this the four swords, it's about healing the mind, the body, the soul. But also the fourth sword is of our own making. So once we find that balance, I feel like the world becomes our oyster. All right. Now, in a way, I feel like you have, just because of what's around it. But I feel like that, so I feel like this is what's speaking of the past. You know, some type of emotional withdrawal, which caused me to become toxic to myself within my own actions. Maybe, you know, what I put in my body, how I, you know, was trying to help myself overcome. But now I have to overcome that. And maybe that's the door that needs closed. You know, I feel like the good news is it's saying whatever, you know, when I think of the strength card, I often think of like our inner demons, not anybody else's, but ours. And knowing that they exist, right? Where there is light, there is dark. Where there is dark, there is light. And that's just the way it is. So, you know, it's understanding that, you know, like sometimes we live in our dark and sometimes we live in our light. I forget what I was going to say, but I do feel like the strength code ultimately does get turned around just because it's by two aces and then the three of wands. Well, this is me, you know, choosing to take an optimistic view. And I do feel like it's a choice. We have the king of wands right over the sun. Can be you. Another Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Doesn't have to be any of that. King of action. You know, he's coming right over the sun. Male or female. I don't know that it even matters. Um, But I do love these coming right over the sun because I feel like if this is, and he's got the Ace of Cups right above him. So I feel like if this is anyone who's coming into your world, because they're coming, in the sun's energy, the light, I don't know. I just feel like you do not need to worry. All right, we got the Nine of Swords, but it came in reverse. Now, I'll take that. It's funny how I say it to myself all the time, like I'm either going to do reversals or I'm not. But then I get into a reading and it's like I can feel the certain energy, I can feel the energy. So I do feel like the strength card is meant to be in reverse. But I feel like that's temporary. Now we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. I'll take that all day long. Nine of Swords talks about a lot of worry. It is sleepless nights. And, it's a type of energy that if it's not dealt with, it's a nine. So it does want you to reflect upon it. Like, what keeps me in this state of worry or anxiety? And what can I do? What can I do? Well, pray, coming over wisdom, call on Jesus, trust. And I feel like that's exactly what you are doing because those swords are now falling out. Don't forget, the Nine of Swords really talks about unnecessary worry, but it's still worry, but it's in reverse. So it's almost like, like Jesus is saying, have faith, have wisdom, believe, like hope, keep your hope alive. Don't live your life through, fear and you know, blocks and remember that you're a spiritual being. Remember that you can get through anything. And I know you can. All right. The Fool, right over the Lovers. And then look at that, the Sun over the Ace of Pentacles. You know why I love the Sun over the Ace of Pentacles? Because I feel like when an ace comes in, it's really coming as a seed, like a mustard seed. And then it's up to us what we're going to do with that seed. We can do nothing and let it just dry up and die, or we can nurture it. And I love the Sun over the Ace of Pentacles. Prosperity begins, but that's what you're nurturing also. Really, you're nurturing everything, everything. It's like a reminder of, when you plant your seeds in your garden, you don't just plant them, walk away and forget about them, right? You water them. You make sure they get enough sun if that's what it calls for. It's like, and then you don't stand over them and wait for them to blossom. You trust, right? I'm putting all this good energy into these seeds, then I need to trust that they will blossom. And I feel like they're gonna. Now we have the Fool over the Lover, so hello. Take a chance on me, take a chance on you. The Fool, brand new, free and clear. About taking a leap of faith, even if I'm a little bit nervous. I feel like if this is relating to love, and, maybe I have someone on my heart, why not reach out? Why not? Especially if I could say, now listen, it's a two-way street, and I know that. But the way I'm reading this right now, it's like I definitely feel like I lost something or someone. And because of that, I'm just going to say, like, I chose to drink, right? Just forget it, to overcome it, but that didn't do the job. What it did is it just became toxic to my own system. I feel like you have been in a somewhat state of reflection. The only way the Nine of Swords could be reversed in my opinion. So I do feel like you've been in a state of reflection. And I feel like, Aries, it's like your vibration is lifting. Even if everything feels like it's going wrong. Because for some of you, I feel like that's what I feel like. I feel like everything is going wrong in my life. And that may be the case. But I feel like the power you have in making some changes, simple little changes could eventually change your whole life. Where everything would seem to go wrong, now all of a sudden, everything is just going right. So we have these lovers, and then the fool comes over. Could we? Could we? Could we recommit ourselves to love? Should we take a chance? I'm coming from the light. You're coming from the light. Which means truth and honesty. Hmm. I mean, I love what the lovers is surrounded by. The Fool, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Sun. What does the Ace of Pentacles usually mean? It means something is coming into your physical world. That really is meant to expand your physical world. And I'm not going to just say love, because for some of you, I definitely feel like it's like taking the wisdom of your experiences and, the Emperor is the leader of the people. The Emperor is a seed planter. Remember that. It's important that you know that. Like, you are the seed planter. If you plant no seeds, then we have no harvest in the fall. Plant those seeds and fill them with love and light and water and watch what sprouts. All right, let's keep going. Temperance, look at that. Divine timing. Overshadow. And then hello, the star again over the Four Cups. Wow. Double Aquarius. Temperance is the card of Sagittarius over Pisces, but the ruler of Cancer. Temperance is about divine timing. Temperance is about patience, as divine timing is getting everything together, so to speak. It's interesting because it's like divine knows what your dreams are. They know what you're wishing for. You know, but I do feel like we also have to do our part. Temperance is mirroring the Ace of Cups. So what's the Ace of Cups over? The Death card, closing of doors. Even if this is about someone that I was with before, I still have to close the door. And I feel like that door is, if this is about someone coming back together, what was toxic. Because I feel like you need real understanding. And then I feel like success will be yours. I also feel like trusting yourself as it relates to what you do in the world. Temperance would be the perfect energy with the Three of Wands because Temperance says let go of control and trust in divine timing. That's what exactly what I'm doing in the Three of Wands. I'm trusting in divine and I'm letting go of control. Now, I'm being very real with myself. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like, and then I put it behind me. Like, I need to be really real with myself and then extract that wisdom and then put the rest behind you. Close that door. Remember, the full, it's free and clear energy. And what I mean by that, there's also someone who would be bringing in like baggage, and you're not bringing in your baggage. It's funny because I said in the Four of Cups that the person in the Four of Cups is being offered a cup. But because their backs to the world, do they accept that cup? I mean, here is that cup. I feel like, I feel a sense of sadness within the Four of Cups, like discontentment and boredom within one's life. But then the star comes out again, and it's mirrored by the star. So now when I look at the Five of Swords, the toxicity, I have to relate part of it back to maybe me not doing all I could do to help manifest my dreams. Sometimes it's simply just having a positive outlook. For these lovers down here, I'm not going to say all of you have been together in this lifetime, but I do have a feeling like for some of you, you know each other, soul to soul. And even if you haven't met in this lifetime yet, it's just going to feel very, very natural. Can feel a little scary too, don't get me wrong. And that's why the High Priestess is here. Trust your intuition. Don't allow, our fear based mind to not see that cup for what it really is, right? You have three aces and then temperance, divine timing. Divine timing over what? Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and the sun behind her. My God. All right. I want to look at, well, let's look at these two aces. Well, okay, so we have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Anything else? Just tell me anything else that may help bring clarity for those who still need it. Page of Wands, kind of like the Fool, someone who takes a chance. Hello, lovers again. Wow. So the lovers now is directly connected to these two aces. And then the Seven of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. Wow. Let me put it this way. This is not the first time you have loved this person. And I don't mean this lifetime. Maybe in this lifetime, but definitely previous lifetimes also. Seven of Pentacles are those seeds that you've planted, and one's coming to fruition. So more than one. You have three aces. I feel like the Seven of Pentacles are like our soul seed of intentions. And not, and we do need to be patient. You have two cards that speak about patience. Same thing. Think about like the apple tree. I'm not going to pluck the apple until the apple is ripe. What good would it do? It'd be bitter. Lovers, again, connecting these aces. Wow. And then the Page of Wands. It's almost like your inner child energy. It's like bringing out your inner child. But I also feel like it's really speaking of like the Fool's energy may talk about two people, and both needing to take on that Fool's energy. I can want someone in my life, but if it was toxic and nothing has changed, then what's the sense? So if I'm changing myself, then I would hope for the same with whoever this other person is. Aries. I feel like ultimately, I definitely feel like your reading's talking about you planting seeds. And some of them are about your financial aspect of life, like what you do for a living. And it doesn't have to mean like my 9 to 5. It can be a creative thing you do, like I may go on the internet and speak about my experiences. I may help others overcome their challenges that I've had to overcome. Whatever it is, I feel like prosperity begins and it's in the sun. So it's interesting because the lovers come up here between the Ace of Wands, passion ignited, and the Ace of Cups, unconditional love. And then the lovers down here with the Fool, and prosperity begins. Now, I often feel with the Ace of Pentacles, it means something's coming into your physical world. Now, do I think that you're helping to manifest this? Absolutely. I feel like you're working hand in hand with divine. Maybe you're starting to understand I can't force my way, but if I make these changes within myself and I start thinking about the future, no matter what your age, and I start thinking about like how can I manifest some of these dreams into my life? I feel like, especially being the emperor, there's like a plan that you can put in place. Aries, I feel like love and money. I say money. I just want you to understand. Well, it says prosperity begins, but it's also a sign that it can be, if you're doing something within, let's say, your material world that, I don't know, I feel like it would have something to do with your faith. Now, it doesn't mean religion, just means that maybe you're just trusting in yourself. Like, maybe you've been worried about like bringing something to the world. I've been worried about it. Everyone's going to like it, this and that. But now, for some reason, that worry goes away. Or let's put it a different way, you take a chance. And I feel like it's going to turn out probably better than you expected, as long as you understand that, planting those seeds, we have to keep nurturing them, right? We have to allow them to blossom. And then love. I feel like love of many lifetimes. Doesn't mean we have loved in every lifetime. Maybe we came in as friends in certain lifetimes. And I almost feel like this like childlike like laughter with that. Like you don't even know, Sandy, like all the different ways like we played with life, coming in different lifetimes and the different experiences that we've had. It just feels like I feel like I'm talking to you from a spiritual sense, like we're already in spirit and you're like, let me tell you the ways. I do feel like I don't know, I hope those that want it are going from a single status to a committed status, potentially marriage. It is a marriage card. Okay. I feel like I don't even need to clarify it past that. I just feel like I get it. I get it. But I do want to read Jesus um, from Mother Mary. I'm not going to read detoxification because I think we all know what that means. But let's read Jesus. How could I not? Here we go. All right. Mother Mary sends you this card because you have a close and personal relationship with her son Jesus. They both hear and lovingly answer your prayers. Jesus offers healing support to you and your loved ones, as well as helping you have faith in God's miracles of love. This card is also a reminder that Jesus loves you and everyone on this planet, regardless of faith. He's a wonderful role model of forgiveness, integrity, and love that you can emulate in your current situation. Aries, I feel like your life is a changing. Now, is it for everyone? Of course not. This is a general reading, though I try to like leave no stone unturned. Um, but I feel like this is what I want to tell you. Hopefully for those who've been with me for a little while, hopefully you've learned to really trust your intuition in a reading. And those who are new, when you watch a tarot reading, you do want to trust your intuition, because sometimes we want something to be, but then all that doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean that great love won't find you. It just may mean this may not be the exact time. Um, and I hate to even put that negative notation on this, but I feel like ultimately just trust within your own intuition. I love the Fool coming over the Lovers, especially with the sun right there. By the way, the sun is connecting the Lovers. I just realized that. And the Ace of Cups. Look at that. And it maybe does take your move. It's like all of a sudden I feel like I'm in a chess game and it's like, all right, I made my move. Now it's your move. Interesting. All right. I'm going to let that be. Um, I do feel like for a few, this is a twin flame. There is the Ace of Cups. I was just going to say, I was looking for the Ace of Cups. How interesting that I didn't even, like, I saw it, I talked about it, but I didn't put it together because that's the card I was looking for me to be able to say that for a few, I think you may be dealing with a twin flame relationship. And, I often say, don't wish for that. Just wish for love if love is what you want. Um, and you just want the highest vibration of love. That means I need to be in a high vibration. I got to be what I want to come back to me. But it is interesting. So, um, for some of you, you're each other's mirrors, and I feel like a twin flame life. It's not an easy one. That's why I say don't wish for it. Soulmate love is much more of a gentler, though, we're still teaching each other lessons. I mean, that's what we're here for. Earth is our classroom, heaven is our home. All right, I'm going to stop talking. I love you guys. I thank you. I thank you for every way you support my channel through your donations, through your sharing, your liking, your beautiful comments. Um, I am forever grateful. And I hope you have a beautiful December. I have a feeling this is beginning. At the beginning, I feel like January. I feel like January. Um, but let it be whatever it wants to be. I love you guys. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.